Hello everyone. So in my last video, I talked about Social Security increase, and I talked more qualitatively about all the things going on in Congress and the Social Security Expansion Act and how they want to use the CPIE instead of the CPIW. Well, we won't know exactly what the increase for Social Security is until this date right here. Yes, October 13th, 2022 is when they release the CPI information that completes the calculation that we're going to go over in this video for 2022. And if you go ahead and subscribe, I'll make sure that on that day, in that morning, I give us the actual number that will be used to calculate 2023's current Social Security cost of living adjustments, as long as legislation stays the same. And with a 1% chance of passing that bill I talked about in that other video, most likely it's going to be this calculation. Let's get into it. But before we go into that, make sure you check out this offer here from Webull. It is limited time. You can get 6 free stocks. The total value of these 6 stocks is guaranteed to be at least $34 if you deposit any amount into a new Webull account. It helps out the channel, and of course, if you have any questions about Webull, you can ask me. This is what I personally use to trade stocks and options, and of course ETFs. Thanks for watching. Here it is. How does the Social Security Administration calculate the COLA based off of the CPIW? Well, here it is. The CPIW for 2020, they take the third quarter, 3 months, July, August, September. They add it together and they take the average. Then they take the current year's, in this case it'd be 2021 for 2022's adjustment. They take the third quarter, July, August, September. You guessed it, they average that as well. And they take the rate of change. So they take the larger number, the 2021, they subtract out the smaller number of the prior year, 2020, and then they divide it by the starting number of 2020. And then they got 5.9% as the cost of living adjustment for 2022. But what does that mean for 2023, and how can we make some assumptions? So on this first projection, we're going to use the CPIW data from the second quarter that's located on this first column here, from April to June. Now I know that the CPIW for cost of living adjustment in Social Security is supposed to be for the third quarter, but we don't have the third quarter data just yet. So let's use the second quarter data just to get a feel for what it would be if they had taken second quarter data instead of third quarter data. So here we go. We have the second quarter for 2021, second quarter for 2022. We're going to add those up and take the average. Then, up here, just like in that example we saw from Social Security website, we're going to take the first larger number, the number from 2022, subtract out 2021 to get the change, and then we're going to get the rate of change, and it's 9.3367%, and they round to the nearest tenth of a percent, so it'd be 9.3%. Now that's the projection 1 if we had used the second quarter data instead of the third quarter data. Now in our next example, let's go ahead and look and see if we can get the CPI data from the third quarter, but let's keep the June CPI number static all the way through. So this would assume that from here on out we have no increase or decrease in the CPIW number. And that, if it was so, the CPIW number would be 292.542. That's the June's number. And again, we update all the numbers to match third quarter, so July, August, September, just like how it's supposed to be. We add those numbers up, find the average, and then we pop it into that same calculation, 292.542 minus 268.421, and then we divide it by 268.421, and we get 9%, because we had to round up because the thing rounds to the nearest tenth, and looks like it should be rounded up here, 9.00%. And for our last example here, this assumes that we take the June number and we multiply it by or 1%. It's kind of like their projected rate increase for July is 0.9%. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say, since we've been using we as in the BLS has been projecting it and it's coming in higher than projected, I'm just gonna say 1% increase. This would be probably the worst case scenario for the CPIW. So this is gonna be kind of the upper limit, upper range of what it could be. And if this was the case, our inflationary rate would be over 10% at this point. But for projection purposes only, let's see what that would give us. So again, we use the CPI numbers from July 2021, August 20, oh sorry, it'd be actually 2021, July, August, September, and then 2022's numbers projected. If we have a 1%, remember, month over month increase from the June number, this is what we would have. And again, we take that last number, that 298,432, we subtract out the average of last year, 268.421, then divided by that number, and we get 11.18057. Rounded to the nearest 10th percent, that's 11.2. So based on kind of my predictions and the projections discussed here, the COLA increase for 2023 should be anywhere between 9% and 11.2%, that kind of range. So hopefully this helped you guys kind of get a grasp on how the CPIW is used to calculate the cost of living adjustment. If you want to know where to find the CPIW, kind of these 298, 266, where those numbers come from, take a look here. This is the screen that is from socialsecurity.gov that they actually tell us how these numbers come out. Again, October 13th, 2022 is when the CPIU is released and the CPIW information will be compiled. I'll be posting a video on that, and probably month by month as we get closer to kind of hone in on the target of the cost of living adjustment, since people seem to be interested. If you have any suggestions, anything you want me to cover on this channel, be sure to leave it in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Remember that promotion that Webull is offering, where you can get 6 free stocks, the value being at least $34, and that's if you deposit even just $1 in your account. Thank you again. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next video.